Should I back up a bit?
No. Hey, talk naturally. Just talk how you normally talk. Don't worry, man.
Hey, what did you have for breakfast?
This is just a conversation. I had muesli for the fucking 12th year in a row of my life.
Creature of habit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hello and welcome to the Deep 2 NBA podcast. My name's Marco Holden Jeffrey, and joining me today is the one and only Sean Carroll, Mr. Temptation. How are you?
Mr. Temptation.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah. I've actually just never heard it out of anyone else's voice. That's it's interesting. Marco, good to be here. Thanks for having me on my own podcast. I guess, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Really happy to be here. Really happy to be in the hosting chair for once. I feel like Chris Ryan. Many happy returns from the United States of America.
Thank you.
How was it? How was your trip?
It was good. It was good. Just logistically, if that heat is too hot, let me know.
No.
I've got it on max
great.
right now.
Great.
It was good. This is the first podcast back since I was at Las Vegas Summer League and the Sports Business Classroom in the Las Vegas Summer League. Really cool. I was sending you guys voice messages every night about everything that I was doing and everything that was going on. But just like, if you find yourself in Las Vegas around Summer League, you should definitely go.
Yeah.
It is a very, very fun, just basketball nerd haven.
Yeah. And I'll give a peek behind the kimono before we dive into the details of Summer League and the Sports Business Classroom. But yeah, you were sending us these great voice notes every day. Sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes was one like 12?
Yeah,
there was one serious voice note, but they were great because they were like,
I was crying twice.
From the floor of the Bellagio. They were like mini podcasts. They're like quick time out with Sean Carroll for an audience of 4 or 5. You count yourself in the audience.
I wasn't listening to it.
Right, fair enough. And then on the other side of things, we had your beautiful wife Francesca was doing a little what did she call it?
Basketball camp.
Basketball camp. So anytime you showed up on the Sports Business Classroom Instagram, which was plenty of the time, maybe for a split second, and you were never featured.
Featured.
Let's just say that.
Hey, I was available.
Yeah. We know. Just doing a nice little wrap up of you sitting with your legs crossed in your nice little shorts, your notebook out. We got it. I feel like I was there for you for 15% of it. It was a good insight. It was a good daily insight. Yeah. But our listeners did not have that. Insight, Sean. So yeah, do you just want to start with? I guess What is the Sports Business Classroom? What did it look like for you this year? How was it? What were your highlights? What did you take away?
Sports Business Classroom is a sports business classroom. It's in the title. Hosted alongside Summer League. It's hosted by Bobby Marks, among other figures. And what it is a program that you apply to get into and then go. There's 4 streams. So it started off, I think, with just like scouting and then cap. There are 2 different streams you can go in. I went as part of the media and broadcast stream, and then there's also a newer stream, which is agency, like player agency. So there were 126 students in the year that I did it, and the ages range from, I think the youngest person was like 20, and then the oldest person was age definitely started with a 5. So a whole spectrum of people. There was myself, and I was one of about 8 Australians who went over. There's a bit of a partnership with the sports management program at Deakin University, so they always send a couple of students over. And there's also Basketball Victoria scholarships. So a few of my friends went over there. I went over just off the
bank of Mr. Carroll.
The bank of Mr. Carroll. Yeah, that's what the bank account's called, actually. We go in and every day for 7 days or 6 days, there's classes where you run through everything behind the scenes about basketball and about the NBA world. Classes would usually start every day. There was a breakfast with Bobby, which is Bobby as in Bobby Marks. So I got to meet a lot of
alliteration.
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of the people that we've been listening to and really talking about for the last decade of our life. And so you'd start off with breakfast with Bobby. That would finish about 7:30, and then you would just sort of have half an hour to continue eating breakfast. And then at 8 o'clock every single day, we would have panels on, speakers on. There'd be people from each of the different streams. So the media and broadcast stream that was hosted by Katie Heindel, Howard Beck, J.A. Dundee, and Jared Greenberg. So for their first sort of intro, it was just talking about like the media and the ethics behind media in the basketball world. And then EJ Kushner was the host of the instructor for the agency thing. So he went up and talked about his role as a player agent. And then Seth Partnow, who you might know from various media sources, or his book, The Mid-Range Theory, nice. He was the host of the instructor for the scouting. So there's all these names and figureheads that you know, and they would come up and talk a little bit about their side. We were actually like watching a little bit of film with Seth Partnow, and he would pause it and he would say, what do you think is going to happen here? And then he would sort of explain how he reads and the push and pull of offense and defense. So it was really cool. But these are all sort of 45 to an hour minute segments. And then they would have guests on, but the guests, they couldn't and didn't publish who the guests were going to be ahead of time, because while they did have some locked in, they were also like, look, we might just walk the concourse and just find people and bring people in. If they want to speak, they can speak. So that would go all the way through. Even at lunchtime, there was always a lunchtime speaker every single day. So as we're having lunch, like all breakfast and lunch was provided. As we're sitting there eating lunch, someone might come up, and Jared Greenberg was usually the guy who would interview this person. And then for the later half of the week, we would break off into our more intense groups for deep dive. So I broke off obviously into the media and broadcast stream, and we were doing several activities, including myself interviewing Ryan McDonough for 5 to 10 minutes. There was live game calls.
Did you do a live game call?
I didn't. I opted not to do it. I was one of maybe 3 people who didn't. The reason I paused is because I can't remember the guy's name, but he used to, the Tsar of the call. He used to host. He used to do calls for Brooklyn Nets games. It was really bad.
Mike Fratello?
Mike Fratello, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't do the game call because that's just not what I want to do. Anyway, so that would all go on, and then the classes would finish at about 5 or 6 every single day, and then games would finish anywhere from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. So right after a game would finish, I would meet up with a few friends. There were shuttles going back and forth to the hotel the whole time, but we would stay until the very last shuttle, so we'll just grab dinner and then we'll sit as close as we possibly could, legally and illegally, to the court and just watch games until 9-10 o'clock, and then we'd go home and then we'd go to bed and then we'd do it all again.
Huge day.
Massive days, man.
Massive days. Massive days of basketball, which you love. It all sounds extremely interesting. Let's start talking about like the broadcast journalism side of things, but like I do want to talk about the other stuff because it's so interesting to get like the player agent insight and all of that. But yeah, I guess what'd you learn? What were sort of tidbits that you drew from that broadcast side of things?
Yeah.
Whether that's making it as a journalist or like, you know, how to position your practice.
Yeah, I definitely stuff that we will talk about, and I've already spoken about with Dante and Lucas off air, but just finding a niche, right? And I was just speaking to all the journalists I could. I was speaking to all the classmates that I could, and just talking to everyone. You know, everyone's sort of got an elevator pitch about who they are and what they do and what they want to do. And I definitely honed that elevator pitch across the week, but the big thing that we just kept getting knocked into us by the media and broadcast people was like, what's your niche? Know your niche. And this is something we've talked about off air as well.
Yeah.
And just keep banging on that niche and make sure it is niche and make sure there is a reason why people should listen, because in the room that I was in, there might be 50 podcasts. So why should people to listen to the Deep to NBA podcast? And that is, again, something that we've talked about a lot. And I think always needs work. And I definitely came away from that thinking, okay, I know what we need to do and I know how we can make our content more niche and how we can stand out amongst the crowd. But that's seriously it, because I sort of got the impression that, and got the impression as I know this, that being able to do a podcast and do the graphic design that we do and the production that we do, that's pretty much a black and white question. That's not like I can't, and we can't sell ourselves as, hey, we do this podcast and we do all the production, because it's so easy to do a podcast. Like anyone, like
so many people have the skills to do it these days.
Yeah. And even if they don't have the skills, there's a lot of AI tools to fill the gaps, right? Like brutally, like that's it. So that I was a little bit shocked at that is just black and white. That is like, can you do it or not? Okay, cool, bang. But after that, there is this world of range past that skill set, and you just need to, I guess, climb as much as you can.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think we've spoken about like maybe we missed the golden age of sports podcasting, as in like if we were doing this 10 years ago, we would be like 100 times more unique, right? As in there were more barriers, or at least just more people didn't realize how low the barriers were to making podcasts. And so these days you can produce great content, you can have all the skills, but so can 100 other blokes. And especially, I guess that's the huge value for you, is actually going to the US where the NBA takes place. That's where they play all of the NBA games, which is something we usually are at a disadvantage of, is that like, the news is happening at 5 a.m. The games are starting at 10 a.m. We're in Melbourne, not in Cleveland or Charlotte or anything like that, or Las Vegas. So yeah, it must be hugely valuable to be like, I guess, in the room with the NBA in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, one person who was hammering that home a lot is another one of the instructors. I forgot to mention, CP the franchise.
Yeah.
He's the host of Knicks Fan TV, and his niche. I'm gonna interpret his words that he told me, but his niche was that after every Knicks game, whether it was Clay Anthony Early starting at the 3 or OG Anunoby starting at the 3, win or loss, I don't think it matters. You've got Clay Anthony Early starting on your basketball team. He was going to do an hour-long show afterwards, no matter what.
Yeah.
And just show face and be there. And then his niche was that everyone knew that no matter what happens in the Knicks world, even if it was just an off-season signing or something small, he was always going to be there.
Yeah.
And so the niche doesn't have to be like, all right, I've got 3 eyes. Do you want to listen to me talk about basketball, right? The niche can be something as simple as that, but it has to be consistent. It has to stand out from everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Like oh God, this is unprofessional of me. Who's the ESPN Australia guy who went and followed the Milwaukee Bucks around for a year? Kane Pittman, of course. That was his niche. He's like, I'm just going to go and be at every single Milwaukee Bucks game or around them for a year. And I'm from Australia. I'm doing it on my own time. And ESPN was like, oh, cool. That's awesome, man. Here's a job. It doesn't have to be revolutionary to have a niche. Okay, so then I want to talk about what was sort of interesting from the other streams. Like, I was so interested to hear in your updates, like, the extremely young college people who are like, I'm going to be a video analyst, or I'm going to be an agent, and like what the stream into kind of that world is.
So like this program started as just the front office sort of thing. So that is their bread and butter. And just it was really interesting hearing. The best way to find out how to do it is just to ask someone who's doing it and say, how'd you get into this, right? So a lot of the time they had, whenever they had a panel with front office guys, or whenever they had a panel with various coaches or scouts, Jared Greenberg or whoever's hosting the panel made sure to say, hey, just because this is going to be a question, how'd you get into what you're doing? So there's one panel with Ryan McDonough, Tommy Shepard, former Wizards GM. Sorry, I should mention Ryan McDonough, former Phoenix GM. They had Kelvin Booth, former Phoenix GM. Another
former GM.
Yeah. And then they had the assistant GM for the Cavs, whose name escapes me, but he's the current assistant GM.
Okay, yeah.
And they asked each of them how they got into doing what they do. And Ryan McDonough came through Boston. He was always sort of around the sports world, and he came in as a... I think he came in firstly as like a video guy, and it was like when they were actually stitching tape together. So it was like sticky tape, tape, not just an MP4 file. Tommy Shepherd started as a team attendant, so he was a ball boy who would run out onto the court and swipe the floor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like he had a mop.
Yeah, yeah.
He actually told this nice little tidbit where, oh no, it was him or someone else. I think it might have been, there was someone from the Orlando Magic it was the uniform guy who had been with the Orlando Magic since they first started. He said one of the first team attendants that he ever met when he first came on as the uniform guy was DJ Khaled. And so DJ Khaled actually grew up closer to Orlando and was a team attendant for the Orlando Magic.
What?
And then he goes, now look, you look him on social media and he's like, I love Miami number one. He's like, I'll just never forget. He was the team attendant for the Orlando Magic for a phase.
Funny. Yeah, is there a vision of DJ Khaled running out onto the
I didn't
Orlando
look it
Magic
up. I'm taking this guy's word for it. Like, that's not something. This dude's like 60 years old. That's not really something. Yeah. But yeah, so just asking all these guys how they got into the world. And they were also like, we know Tommy Shepherd as the guy who, couldn't divorce from Bradley Beal and made our friend Lucas have to watch 39 in basketball every year, right?
Yeah.
But hearing these guys talk about it, and they did get questions about their jobs and some of the decisions they made. And they were really upfront. Like Tommy, there was this guy who stood up and said, hi, Billy Bob, whatever, Washington fan, blah, blah, blah. Or he said he was from a state. He was from a college in Washington. And Tommy says, I'm going to stop you. Are you a Washington fan? Are you a Wizards fan? He goes, I am. He goes, look, I'm so sorry. And it was like, oh, wow, that's really candid and nice. And they talked a lot about how their jobs are so much a relationship with owners, which is something that we obviously hear about as people consuming media. And they had a really unique angle where, you hear a lot of people talk about like sort of maybe it's new owner syndrome, or you talk about problems with owners, and it's like, oh, why can't everyone just have Steve Ballmer and he just wants to like hand over the reins? But all these guys said, if I bought something for $5 billion, I'm not just going to say, oh, awesome, I have this cool new toy. I'm not going to care what happens to it.
You want to be involved in how it's run and how it's used.
Yeah. And then there's varying degrees of whether they should be in there, or maybe they're doing too much or whatever it is. But like they definitely have no problem with owners having a dictate where they might be like, hey, I want to make the playoffs. Like win 42 wins or whatever. So yeah, that was, I can't even remember your original question, but I'm just going to keep talking a little bit. There was heaps of former GMs and front office guys. Mike Gansey came and spoke to us. Mike Gansey, the current decision maker for the Philadelphia 76ers. It was quite funny. Every time these guys came up, they introed their stuff and they said, all right, we're going to open up to questions. And both Mike Gansey and the Cavs guy were like, before anyone asks, I have no idea. Like they actually have no idea.
Wow, which is so interesting with what then happened over the next few
weeks. Yeah, seriously. And someone asked Mike Gansey about the whole Jaylen Brown, like how does he value him higher than seventh? And it was a very political answer. It was like, yeah, of course we do. Like, he's incredible. He's not going to say, oh no, it was just like we hate Paul George. Like no one did that. Kelvin Booth did say, oh, there was a report that Michael Malone and I were fighting down the end of my tenure. Right. And he goes, we've never shouted at each other in our lives. We've never grabbed each other by the scruff of the neck. We disagreed sometimes, and we disagreed definitely near the end about what we should do with the basketball team, but I'm still friends with him.
Yeah.
And he goes, so just keep in mind that when you hear reports about infighting or people not liking each other, he goes, in my experience, most of the time, no one actually hates each other. There's no one who's like relationships are ruined. It's just a difference of business. One more panel was NBA Europe and talking about what the hell NBA Europe's going to look like. And they had these guys whose name I do not know, sorry, but they were explaining what the current EuroLeague and European situation is and where NBA Europe's going to come in and how they're going to do it. And there are still a lot of question marks. We're currently left with have you got them up in front? Have you got
Sorry? Have I got what?
Have you got the names of the guys? Or
no, I don't. No, I'm just looking at other NBA Europe stuff. Please continue.
There's a lot of question marks, but there's currently that they want to take over the EuroLeague format while also replacing all of the domestic leagues. And this is all theoretical. They want to replace the domestic leagues, but keep them the same, but have the NBA label, like smack an NBA label on top. And so they just said, this is what it looks like. There's lots of different rules across each thing. So they would standardize all the rules. Like, for example, in the Israeli league, there has to be 2 Israeli-born players on the court at all times.
Oh, wow.
But then, like, in the Italian league, there doesn't have to be 2 Italian-born players, right? So the NBA would come in and sort of caress those rules and those sort of, like, intricacies across the league so that it is standardized at the bottom. And then as they go up and they play in the EuroLeague format, it's just going to be a natural transition up and down. But instead of being again, they don't really know, because at the moment it's like it sort of works like the Champions League, where if you're in England, if you're the top 4 teams or sometimes 5 teams, then you get into the Champions League. They're asking teams to put in anonymous bids to be in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's like
the EuroLeague.
It's like the Super League sort of thing.
The Super League theory.
What was it? Is that what it was called? Maybe it was going to be called the European Super League, and I mean, basically, it was the 16 richest clubs in Europe were going to split away from the Champions League. But it's that thing where it's not based on merit of how good your team is. It's like you're gonna be like, oh, we as a franchise, like, we'll do really well, and usually that's money based or whatever. Yeah.
I can't see that working, because look at all the kickback from Gianni Infantini, right? Like that, he immediately scrapped that plan.
Oh yeah, and
now he might be out of a job soon for multiple other things, but that sort of mindset included, what else do you want to know?
Any other speakers who stood out? Or was that it? I'm seeing the words Shams Charania
Shams Charania
on my computer screen.
Because all the guests were, I mean, like over 50% of the guests were, hey, we just don't know, like whoever comes in. Like on the first session, Adam Silver walked in, and it's like no one knew he was going to be there, and he just happened to rock up. But yeah, Shams Charania, they ushered all. They said, "Oh, to the media kids, can you go to meeting room D?" And we went in. They said, "Oh, well, you've got a special guest." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like, I wonder who it is." And you rock up. Shams is just sitting in the corner typing away, and it's like, "Oh,
always on his phone,
always on his phone."
Kids these days.
He was holding 2 phones as he was there.
My God.
It was really cool. We rocked up. Jared Greenberg was sitting and was just about to go speak to him, and then he was typing away on his phone. And then we're all sitting there, and he comes up, and they introduce themselves, and then I check my phone, and literally like a couple of seconds ago, he had tweeted something, and then Bleacher Report had aggregated it, and like it buzzed my phone. And then as he's talking about his journey to where he is today, and how he got into his career, he was also texting while Joe Greenberg was talking for a bit. Another notification comes through from him. Like he literally dropped 2, and the Woj bombs were the sham whales were they were small. Like it was like USA has got a new like training facility or something.
Right. But that's his job, is to be the first person to tweet any NBA news, and it means he'll literally do it in the middle of a conversation. With Jared Greenberg,
which is crazy, and like that's sort of just like expected. And we've all seen the sort of news article after a deadline where he goes, I was having 21 hours of screen time a day, and he was just saying how it's like it's not for everyone. He takes a phone into the shower every time, and it was really interesting. He's just, from a physical point of view, his hair doesn't move. His hair is like rock solid, looks like Johnny Vegas or whatever that character's name is. It is what you see in his profile pictures, and when he's on TV, that's what it's like in real life. And he had to leave quickly because he was going on NBA TV. But his hair is rock solid, doesn't move. Like he obviously was walking around and was moving his head, and it stays exactly where it's meant to be.
He has to be ready to be on TV. At any moment. All right. Well, why don't we step out of the classroom? Sure. Well, what were your other? I want to know about your other best interactions from the weekend. Like who were the cool people you spoke to, whether we know their name or not. I mean, I know we know a couple of their names. And then, just like, I also know you had, you did some walk-bys of NBA players, former NBA players, media people. So tell us about those.
Start
with people you actually spoke to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just first of all, Howard Beck and Katie Heindel were
Nice.
two of the nicest people I've ever spoken to.
Yep.
Howard Beck, as part of the thing, we had to write a game recap, and then he edited the stuff and gave us some writing tips. I saved the Google Doc that he sent outside, so I'm just always it's downloaded locally on my computer. I've always got a Word doc with comments from Howard Beck, which is always going to be quite cool. Yeah, they were lovely and extremely generous with their time. But in terms of just walking around and talking to people, whenever there was like lunch or like a little drinks break or something, I tried to go up and just speak to people who had MBA credentials. And I spoke to this guy and it said MBA Replay Center on his back. And I was like, hey, do you work at the MBA Replay Center? And he does. And talk, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? Can I ask you a question? Can you make it go a bit quicker? Like, can we speed this up?
So I'm trying, Jennifer.
He literally said, I'm trying, Jennifer. And he goes, like, he was quite young. He was under the age of 30, but he goes, there's NBA referees who have been refereeing games full time for decades, and then they've stepped away from the court, and now they're working in the replay center. I did mention, I was like, oh, it's Secaucus, isn't it? He goes, yeah, do you know it? And I was like, no, man, but like...
They say we're going to Secaucus, New Jersey,
as an Australian,
5 times a game.
As an Australian, it is... everything I've learned about Secaucus has been against my will. But he said there's guys who have been working in the replay center who have been like coaching games on court for decades, and he says every week one of them will see a play that they've never seen before. And I was like,
wow.
Does that really happen that often? He goes, yeah, like 360 degrees around every player, dudes bumping into dudes. Like there's always something new. So it's like we have so many screens, we have so many angles, we have so many guys watching every single play. And he goes, even still, like, and we're using this new AI tool, right? We'll see how good that is. But he's just like, there's something new happening every single time. Another guy who used to work in the Dallas Mavericks front office, he was walking around. There was a fake trade deadline on the second last day, and then as a media person, I was like fake reporting on it. We had a Slack channel that was fake Twitter. But in that, I mostly just walked around and spoke to people, and I was talking to this guy, and I said, oh, what do you reckon about any of these trades? And he goes, oh, the Spurs fake traded for fake Larry Markkinen, right? And he goes, dude, I love Larry Markkinen. Like, we had the pick after the Bulls that draft, or like a couple of picks after, and like I'd been scouting him for years, and like we really wanted him, but the Bulls gave him a promise. We tried to trade, but we couldn't do it. And he goes, we ended up getting Dennis Smith Jr., who we were extremely high on, but he's like, I really wanted Larry Markkinen. I was like, oh wow. And then he goes, and then a few years later, he became available via trade, and he goes, like, we knew what the Cavs were offering. We tried to beat it, but the Cavs offer just surpassed. And he goes, I no longer work there, but I really like Larry Markkinen. I've always been high on Larry Markkinen. I was like, wow, that's really cool.
That's so cool.
This dude just likes Larry Markkinen and tried everything he could, tried to convince his boss to trade for a guy. There was I was around Steve Kerr, but I didn't speak to him.
That's fine, man. That's huge.
It's actually
that's massive for you.
Just between.
It's one of the most important people in your life.
Yes. And he's wearing a Billabong shirt.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's an Australian brand, right?
Yeah, but there's Billabongs and Quicksilvers all around America. Which is interesting. It's like one of our exports.
Yeah.
But he was there because as part of the Summer League, one of the things they've done to expand is create a Summer League Film Festival.
Right.
Which is like, if you and I were there outside...
Compete with Cannes or...
Yeah, right. But if you and I were there outside of Sports Business Classroom, we would also be going to... it runs at the exact same time. There's a semi-theatre in the Thomas and Mack Centre.
Oh, wow.
So Steve Kerr was the executive producer for a movie about just gun violence and cutting down on mass shootings and gun control. So he answered a few questions just about that, and he was doing a bit of a press tour there, and was there just to watch the Warriors, who ended up winning the Las Vegas Summer League.
Yaxel.
Shout out my favorite basketball team.
Come on now.
Come on now.
The fake Golden State Warriors.
We were running 6 NBA basketball players on that court, but so were the Memphis Grizzlies. So Steve Kerr, everything you kind of expect, but just a massive fans all around him. as again you might expect. I was there when Kevin Garnett walked past. Kevin Garnett was going to one of these films. He has a real he's everything he looks like on TV. Like he has a real strut. Like he's just like the coolest dude wearing massive glasses.
Can we tell the Howard Beck story about his reaction to your business card? Or?
Yeah. So I made
that was one of the best moments of my life.
True. So sorry. It took 29 minutes and 52 seconds to get there. I made business cards for the Deep 2 Podcast Network, and on the back I had all of our IPs, and one of them is the Jeff Van Gundy tribute show. And so when I first met Howard, I was like, do you mind if I give you one of my business cards? And then he looked at the back, and I was like, this is all our stuff. And he pointed to the JVJ tribute show, and he goes, is that Jeff Van Gundy? I was like, yeah. And he goes, what's that? What's he doing there? And I was like, like my friends who started a pod as part of the network, they just love Jeff Van Gundy. I think he's the funniest guy. So when they made their show, they named it after him. And I said, they shouldn't have named it the tribute show. Like, it sounds like he's passed away, but it's more of like a tribute to him because they love him so much. And he's like, wow, that's really funny. Next time I see him, I'm going to show him that. I'm going to hold on to this and I'm going to show him. So like, Jeff Van Gundy will hear about the show.
Awesome.
You have to pump out a few apps like pretty quickly.
I know. We're
do you like the rookie
hibernation?
Do the rookie beer tier list?
Yes.
when actual JVG looks at the pod, he's like, okay, what is this? What is this?
Yeah. What's a warm heart ultra crisp? It makes me. It fills me with glee that Jeff Van Gundy will see the terrible Photoshop I did of him in October 2020, like in the midst of Melbourne lockdown.
Yeah.
Hey, that's me.
He'll appreciate it. He'll appreciate it.
No, I know. That's exactly what I expected.
And that's what he said. He said this is something that he'll find very funny.
Yeah. Which it feeds back into itself. That's why he's the name of the show, is because he would react well to that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're not naming it like the Johnny Infantini tribute show. Well, they'd probably love it. I've written notes. I've got specific notes and then miscellaneous notes.
I got other avenues we can take it, but if there's anything else you want to mention in terms of takeaways and
it will be Seattle and Las Vegas. They're going to be the expansion team. I know that's not like groundbreaking, but like it will be those teams. What else have we got here? This isn't very good podcast.
No other insider knowledge.
Seth Partnell's bringing out a book soon.
Oh, great! Yeah. The sequel to the mid-range theory.
No, not really. See that? Shut up. Seth Partnell, when he watches,
it's called The Deep 2, actually.
when he watches film, he always cuts the basket result. So when he's stitching together clips for play, like he used to work for the Bucks, but when he would put together film to show, like he
doesn't show it was a make or a miss.
Yeah. Wow. He just shows the process, and so he goes, let's judge this player on their process. Wow. So he showed a lot of Shea clips, and they were all pretty bad shots. Everyone raised their hand and was like, look, that's a pretty bad shot, and he goes, they're all makes.
Yeah.
And so he just showed makes, but he cut them. And it was like, okay, the process is kind of bad here. The offensive possession devolved. Okay, they had a good look, but he just took this contested midi. And, I could do the same for heaps of bad players, and you would say that's a bad shot, and then he's out of the league 2 years later.
Yeah.
So while there is a lot of analysis and this, but and he talks about how there's so much subjectivity going into analyzing basketball, which is, I guess, why we all love it. Sometimes the guy just makes a shot, and that's pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's one of the most interesting things about like modern sports is like so much film. You have so many numbers. You have all these metrics. What does John Hollinger keep talking about? Anyway.
He's LeBron.
Yeah. No, he's got another one.
Boards.
Yeah, there might even be another one. No. Anyway.
PER.
Let's move on.
Mellow.
Yeah, like all this scouting goes in, and you look at, you weigh your assets up against each other. But like you said, a guy's just like, I just really like Larry Markkinen, so I'm going to make a play for him. Every single opportunity I can. And there's analysis that goes into really liking Larry Markkinen.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about him every offseason, that's a subjective thing, right?
Yeah. Charles Clark was a assistant coach for the Denver Nuggets when they won their title. He was just hanging around, and one of my friends, Simon, shout out Simon, he's an associate coach for the Geelong Venom. Charles Clark was extremely generous with his time, and I was just sitting near them while they were just having a chat about coaching, and a lot of it, like, quite a bit of it did go over my head because they were talking a lot about like the relationships of coaching, which is, you know, something that I will never have anything to do with, really.
Yeah.
But he spoke to just random Australian guy for about half an hour and was just so animated in his responses, and it's just really nice to see like cool guys like that, right? Mike D'Antoni was there as well. He also answered a lot of questions, and my friend Ollie, who's also a coach in Adelaide. Just I guess you're not really going to be around the sports business classroom if you're not generous with your time, but it is just nice to see all these people that like we hold to such a high esteem. They are so generous with their time, which is awesome. Also, more of a note on just maybe American society, a lot of them wear like white pants. And I feel like in Australia, it's like jeans through dark, right? Jeans through black pants.
Totally.
Their like color spectrum is just like white through grey.
Yeah,
which,
right.
You know, I guess us Aussies look like a little bit like fish out of water because we're all just wearing jeans and dark pants.
Yeah.
And everyone, like Mike D'Antoni, teal shirt, white pants for most for most of the thing. But that's just them.
That's a real retiree Newt Gingrich type look.
Who the hell is Newt Gingrich, bro?
Come on, Google him.
Sorry,
Gingrich, sorry.
Newt Gunray.
You know this guy, Dante always sends Instagrams of his wife. Never mind. Well, unless you have anything else you want to say about sports business classroom, knowledge you gained, what about Summer League itself? Like, do you want to talk about like what was any standout games, any standout players, any standout moments, experiences? At the Thomas and Mack Centre. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so it's Thomas and Mack and Cox Pavilion, and. Yeah, it's so they're within 50 meters of each other, and you don't like walk outside.
Yeah,
they're connected. In fact, there's like more concessions, which is like food and drinks, connecting the two stadiums. So you sit there and you watch one game, and then you check your phone and you're like, okay, another game's starting in 15 minutes, and then you get up and you realize everyone's also doing a max exodus because it's like, oh, Caleb Wilson's going to start playing in the other stadium. But for reasons why we don't like the NBA is just how long it takes to get a game going and the transition, and that's all gone with Summer League. Like as soon as a game finishes, there's a timer on the shot clock that goes for 8 minutes, and by the time that time is done, the next game's tipped. Wow. So it's like awesome. you could like fully plant yourself down, not leave, and you're just going to keep watching game after game after game. But what we so often did is just like halftime, run to the other stadium, watch we tried to watch as many teams as we could.
It's like flicking around League Pass.
Yeah. It's exactly like that. And there were lines to get in, but they would just zip through. Yeah. Like I never felt like I was like missing basketball. I could get to everywhere I wanted to go and watch every team I wanted to. It's just a matter of how close you can go. And later in the tournament, the closer we got to the stadium. So in the end, we were sitting 2 rows behind.
Yeah, nice.
And we could read the name on the security guard's badge. And there's this guy, his name was like John, and he was part-time. And I was like, why do you reckon John's part-time, guys? And then John just looked at me, and I was like, okay. Yeah.
It's cool. You spent too long at Summer League at that point.
Yeah. But it was cool. Like Kira Lewis was playing for the Blazers. Kira Lewis. Oh. Yeah, real snake bit career, right? As you know, like 2 major ligament injuries, and then his salary was the exact amount it needed for your pals to duck the luxury tax. He was starting, and he was playing in quite a guard-heavy Portland team. Also, Yang Han-sen. It's obvious, but so many Chinese fans there, all chanting in Chinese. Like, you remember when we went to the World Cup?
Yes, vividly.
That level of chanting, that level of like, there weren't 500 people, but there were just like a solid 3 to 4 rows, all chanting in Mandarin, which is just like far out, man. I guess he doesn't play regular season games. This is like your Super Bowl. Sorry, I'm all American build at the moment. Kira Lewis, like, because again, I was so close to the stage. Like, he was starting, he was playing, like, Portland had quite a good team. They were starting Chris Youngblood, who was just the sickest summer league player, also incredible name. But he started playing, and then he sort of rolled his ankle, and then the coach was like, all right, sub out. And he goes, no, I'm good. And he like threw the coach away. And then you could see I want to say medic. What's his name? The medical guy, trainer. Trainer came up and he said, take him off. I need to have a look. So he took him off. Kira Lewis walks back and he just punches the chair, and he just felt so bad. And he's like pacing, and then the coach has got like the trainer's got this rubber band. He's like asking him to stretch, and he just looks so defeated. And you're sort of looking at it going, far out. Like, I know your career. I know the setbacks you've had. Yeah. And like, he had talent. He was a lottery pick. Yeah. And it just sucks to see in real life, but also the access is quite cool just to see in real life. This dude, this is like, if he popped this summer league, he might be able to get like a 2-way contract, and then he could parlay that 2-way into maybe achieving his dream of being an NBA point guard, right? But he just had a rolled ankle in the wrong moment. The trainer was like, look, I'd rather be safe than sorry. He takes him out, and you just see this pure emotion, which I don't see when I go to NBL games, because I don't sit behind the bench, and I probably wouldn't see it in an NBA game because I don't have millions of dollars. So just to be able to see all those interactions, and just all the guys have a laugh, and like seeing teams like Phoenix, and they have been for the past couple of years, actually, only last year. They really like each other, and these guys are all cheering for each other, and they are, and They also were very good, and they probably could have won a title if they played everyone. I was also watching a few Bucks games, and I saw Braden Burries have like I don't want to say breakout game. He was just good the whole entire time, but it was like the Bucks were down by like 9 points with a couple of minutes to go, and he just like hit a three, got a steal, hit a layup, then he hit this like and one layup, and as he's hit the layup, and he's like walking back to the center of the court, and he's like looking at Cox Pavilion, which seats like 3,000 people, and he's just nodding, and like everyone's screaming for him. He's like, dude,
that's
like,
sick.
Yeah, and then so he made for the All Summer League first team, and like he's looking like a really good pick. But Nate Ament, who they picked 2 or 3 picks later at 11 or 11, Nate Ament is obviously, we know what he is, right? Like, he's a physical specimen, but it's like he shot whatever
pick 13,
but he shot whatever horrible percentage from the floor. Every time he was using an action, because they kept dragging him up in actions, in screening actions, just to like, I guess, get him involved, because he's a big body, he's slight, you could probably get around him. He would just like get into a stance and stay in front of the guard, and as soon as he stayed in front of the guard, the coaches and everyone was screaming. Like, everyone was like saying, yeah, Nate, go, Nate. And I'm like, it just felt a bit like sort of spoon feeding him. It felt a bit like he's just in a stance. Like, he hasn't stopped anyone, right? He hasn't like picked the pocket of this 6 foot like shifty guard. Like, he just got up on a screen, and they did this every time he got up on a screen. It's like, can he not get up on a screen? Can he not? Can he not just stand in front of the 3-point line? And he didn't stop anyone, right? He was just a body that was there, and then he showed, and then he went back to his man. But it felt a bit like, everyone on every summer league team, like 99% of them are fighting for a position in the NBA. Yeah. And they've obviously, the Bucks have obviously made this like their point of emphasis. Like, we want to see progress from the guy we drafted so highly. But it just seems like if I was like the 10th man on the Bucks, I'd be like, dude, what the hell are we doing? Like, I'm trying to feed my kids, right? Like, I'm trying to like fight for my life, and we're patting this dude on the back for showing. Like, what are we doing?
I guess young players, like, they can be pretty delicate, and like you can, if you have, I mean, sometimes you have a bad summer league, and that's like such a bad start to your NBA career that really, really affects you. So I reckon, there must be so much like personality protection and everything. Like, I mean, like, what is summer league for an NBA team? For like those top 4 picks, they play 2 games, and they're 3 or 4 of them are awesome, and then they don't play. Like, probably doesn't affect the rest of their NBA season. Yeah, like, there's 11 guys playing for that 15th spot on every roster, and then for everyone in between, it's like, what is it? It's just development. Like, it's just like getting minutes and making sure you don't crap your pants.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, but I take your point as well. Like I'd be like, why?
Yeah. Just a couple more points. From what you just said at the start there, Caleb Wilson saying, "Why would you shut me down? I like playing basketball. I want to keep playing basketball." We got to go into the media scrum after the Phoenix game, and someone asked Carmine Malawak, like, do you think you're going to get shut down? And he goes, I can always improve. I just want to keep playing basketball. It's like LeBron James can still improve, so he still plays basketball and he still trains. Like, why would I stop? Like, so again, just great vibes there.
Yeah.
So Caleb Wilson. Who was the? What was the other? The Nets. I watched quite a few Nets games because they're sort of using the summer league and I imagine their G League as that sort of test case for what they want to do, which is just have 6'10" dudes and hope that they all work.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Yegor Zhomon was like straight stroking it. Like he was putting up like tens of threes a game and making quite a few of them. But Mikal Brown Jr., extremely long, like, incredible physical specimen. Which shout out to Katie Heindel of Basketball Feelings for writing, and in her next book she's going to be talking about the way we talk about basketball players and just how it is a little bit like draft horses.
So the way you said physical specimen was feeding into that.
So I went a bit over the top there, but he's incredible, and he took this shot. He didn't make it. He took this shot which I've just never seen. Like he's the sort of like unique offensive creator, like a LaMelo Ball, where it's like, oh, you might invent some stuff. So. Keep an eye out for Mikal Brown. He was running off like a screening action, and he curled around, like he's curling around towards the baseline from the top of the 3-point line, and he's sprinting full pelt. And as he catches the ball, he slams the ball down with his right hand, and he slams his left foot down into the defender. And then as he uses that slam bounce, he holds the ball with two hands. He takes two of the biggest steps, almost reaching the corner from like that free throw line extended, and takes a three. And
wow!
Yeah, like he got so far behind.
Shoulder step back.
Yeah, shoulder step back off the catch.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how often you're going to be in those situations, but just like
if it's a wrinkle in your game,
incredible,
if it's in your bag.
Yeah, the whole crowd was like, "Oh," and it didn't go in. But just dynamism of shots. Really interested to see how he plays.
Yeah. Awesome. What else you got to say about the center and the pavilion? What were you eating? Were you having dogs? Were you having Michelob Ultras? Were you...
I'll wrap up on this point. Food, fine. It's the home court of the Runnin' Rebels, the UNLV Runnin' Rebels. So they have Rebel dogs. So I was like, can I go a Rebel dog? It's just a hot dog.
Yeah,
and they say, the sauce is behind you. Like, it's fully just a hot dog. Just American general food's very expensive, so it wasn't worth it. I was trying to eat a bit healthy because I sort of just separately had like a great run of like going to Pilates, going for runs. I was actually in like peak physical fitness, and then I went to America. I was having like fucking fish tacos at 11 p.m. But I was because it was the start of the thing. I was like, look, I'll try and eat a little bit healthy, right? So the only healthy thing I could find in the stadium, which is like, if I ask you to eat healthy at the MCG, this isn't an affront on UNLV, but it's just hard to eat healthy at stadiums. But so I'll have an acai bowl, right? They said, oh, cool. And they showed me this, funnily enough, cardboard like tablet. I'm like, it's got all this stuff in it. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll have it all. I didn't even look at it. It comes out, bro. It's full like chocolate, honey.
Oh, my God.
It was almost like a sweet acai bowl. I know they're sweet, but it was like there's a banana doing a lot of work. There's one banana doing a lot of work in this acai bowl. That's not very, But drinks, they had those drinks. Like, I don't like American beer. It all sucks. They had those fancy new beer fillers where you fill from the bottom.
Oh.
So there's a hole in the cup, and then there's like a heavy sort of plastic stopper. And they, for the people who are watching, which it's just Marco, I'm doing essentially like a very naughty position. But you plonk your beer down, and it fills from the bottom. And the idea is that you don't waste any, and you get good head, I guess. Pause. But I saw that and I was like, oh, cool. So I'm just like sitting down. I walked back to the stadium. I'm sitting there. I'm just like holding my... It was Modelo's. I was drinking
Oh,
mostly
okay,
Modelo's.
that's fine.
Also, don't have Blue Moon. It's like they've got like a sweet IPA.
What on earth? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
just
no,
good stuff.
no, they just sorry. Well, you get back to it, but just very quickly, they just got beer completely wrong in that country.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just completely have no idea.
One size, man.
Yeah.
It's like in between Schooner and Pint, and you're just like, hey, can I please have a Michelob Ultra? And they just give it to you.
And it's probably like 13 liquid ounces or something that no one else in the world knows how to measure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was just sitting there. I was just like feeling. I was like, oh, the bottom of my cup feels weird. Completely forgetting that it was filled up from the bottom. And I'm like, what's this? And I like press in, and I knock the plastic thing out.
Oh no!
And I get half a beer all over my crotch, and then I had to go see people after
And
this.
Steve Kerr walks up to you.
Oh, Steve! I fully just had beer all over myself, and I reeked of beer. And I had to wash those shorts for the rest. It was horrible, man. Because there's just this little plastic slip. I kept it.
What, you brought the?
I brought the little slip.
Oh,
home.
you just brought the slip.
Yeah, not the cup, not the cup.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
because I think it is slightly magnetic, so I was going to put it in the fridge. And also just show like, guys, what the hell is this? Anyway, that's not the best food. I went to, and we will end this pod, but I went to the Barclays Center to watch the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
Really beautiful stadium. Everything's modern. It's all like everything's like blackout black, and there's just like every 10 meters there's a little stall, and that place, it's hard like. It's almost impossible not to drink, because every 5 meters there's a different station with one person working on it saying,
Right.
I'm making tequila cocktails, I'm making beers,
Wow.
I'm giving you wine. Like there's just every piece of alcohol just, and I was a bit like, I just kind of want some chips, man. Like,
Yeah.
Really weirdly encouraging you to drink heaps at the Barclays Center.
Do you think that speaks to maybe how poorly supported the Brooklyn Nets are, that they need to keep people in the stadium by making them drink
Maybe.
tequila
Well, it's not cheap.
sodas at every?
It's not cheap, man.
True, but it's New York. Like,
I don't know. I had a Brooklyn Nets IPA.
nice.
So it had the Nets logo,
Yeah.
various Nets logos on the beer.
Yeah.
It tasted fine.
All right, you're right. We should wrap this pod up. But do you just want to? Is there anything else you want to say about Vegas? Because it's a crazy city, and I know you went to the Cass.
Yeah.
I know you had a punt.
I was.
I know how much of a hypocrite you are. This anti-gambling podcast, and you're in Vegas spending company dollars, spending dollars from the bank of Mr. Carroll.
Yeah. Now we just because I think it's the coolest, we spent a lot of time at Caesar's Palace. I got a chip. I'll show you later. I kept one. But Vegas is fully a hive of scum and villainy. It's like Mos Eisley, man. It's like, it's so crazy. We as we're walking around Caesars, we saw Trae Young walk past, and he is smaller than 6 foot.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool to be there while basketball players are just running around. One player I forgot to mention, Trevor Brazile from the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, okay.
Incredible, 6'10" go-to scorer.
Right.
Really good. He's actually going to be in their rotation this year. Not only because he's good, but because the Denver Nuggets haven't signed anyone outside of Marvin Bagley. He'll be good. But I mentioned him because I think I saw him on the plane home. It's really funny getting a plane out of Vegas because there's just 7-footers every couple of seats, and it's funny. Vegas is everything you think it's going to be, but somehow more commercialized.
Yeah.
It's you walk past a restaurant, it's this is Hell's Kitchen, this is Nobu Vegas.
Yeah.
This is there's a circus, the Circus du Soleil, but there was the current exhibition is Circus du Soleil Monster Hunter Worlds Edition. So it's your favorite Nintendo franchise has a theme.
That's insane.
Everything's themed. Everything's got a brand.
That's the joke from the end of Tar. She's doing the orchestra music for Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Well, I love that movie.
So good.
Also, weed's now legal in Nevada. So the strip just and you can smoke inside. So as we're sitting at the table, like, playing, every now and again, you just get a big, like, huff of, like, weed smoking.
Oh, people smoking weed inside at the casino.
Bro, and
that's
can
kind
I just
of
say,
insane.
Top 3 worst places to smoke weed, and it's not 2 or 3.
Yeah, Caesar's Palace. Yeah.
Well, just a casino, man.
Yeah.
It's
There's
pretty...
such stressful environments.
Yeah,
like, sounds, lights,
And awesome you can smoke inside, but far out, man. Just like, let's go to a pub.
Yeah.
Or just watch a movie.
Is that the problem with Vegas? There's no pubs.
Yeah. There's just bars. But next to my hotel, I was hungry at 10:30 at night, and there was a 24/7 fish taco bar.
Oh, awesome!
Which is just crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you have anything else you want to mention about your experience, or a little cap, Sean. Should we wrap up, or
I did. I'm just looking at the run sheet. You did ask some questions.
Oh we can keep asking them, man.
No. I'll just shout out Anthony St. Lawrence.
Yep.
Shout out Real Steel Altmeyer. Shout out Ethan. Shout out Shayna. Shout out Bree. Bree works at the Smoothie King Center, and she's a big fan of the Pels. And I was like, oh, my friend Marco's a big fan of the Pels. I was like, I'm really sorry. She goes, no, we'll turn it around.
God, love that, Bree. Yeah. We won't, but I love that.
And of course, shout out to all my Australian buddies, Ollie, Pete, Simon, and Jacob. God, that's a bunch of Aussie bloke
Holy
names,
Pete,
right?
Simon, Jacob, Sean. Fire out! What a bunch you must have been.
It's not often.
Watch out! Here they come.
It's not often I've got the most exotic name in a friend group. No, but Marco, thanks for coming on the pod and asking me all these wonderful questions.
Nah, thanks for having me. And I just wanted to wrap up by saying that Kira Lewis Jr. was drafted 13th overall in 2020. 2 picks later, Cole Anthony, who's now a member of Melbourne United.
Yeah, there's different ways Kira, to go.
If you wanna hop on over the pond, as they say, please be my guest.
Can he stay healthy?
Yeah. All right, thanks, Sean.
Peace.